Oh, welcome. Welcome to Jazz Harmony by James Knapp with me, Reese Gerwin. Today's chapter 2, 4-note chords in the Diatonics system. According to Jim Knapp, jazz is basically just a series of 4-note chords or more that you play whatever the you want over. And the important thing is that the bass line is not composed. Okay. Well, classical music is a composed bass line with mostly 3-note chords and the occasional 4 notes for spiciness. So now we have a jazz and classical music battle. Well, they're different. All right, you're kind of supposed to already know this, so let's get this out of the way. The major scale is a whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, right? 7 notes. Okay, here's a song I wrote about it. It's the whole step, half step pattern that is the basis for what we call the diatonic system. And that is what gives us the 13 key signatures, not including the stupid ones, right? JK. Each key signature has 2 major 7th chords, 3 minor 7 chords, 1 dominant chord, and 1 half diminished chord. This makes 4 primary chord types: major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, and half diminished 7. This creates a functioning chord pattern that applies to all keys, okay? We've already covered this. Each chord has a root, a third, a fifth, and a 7th. You can extend it with thirds, and it makes a scale. And that scale can be thought of as a mode. Let's talk about chord symbols. They're not standardized. Bro, I'm not used to seeing a B flat major 13 sharp 11. I use the Coltrane Delta. But the way Jim sees it, it goes like this. You have the letter, the number indicating extension, and the major or minor chord quality. Now, these days, it's pretty normal to use a delta symbol for a major 7th interval added above the root. For example, A major 7, C major 9, E flat minor major 7, and G diminished major 7. Wait, how do we use parentheses? Good question. Well, one of them is to draw attention to alterations or extensions that are not in the key signature. The other way is to simply isolate added notes, like this. Now, some people use, like myself, the minus symbol for a minor chord. Jim kind of sees it as like a flattened lowercase m, which is, I agree. Anyway, so it makes a little bit of confusion between using a minus symbol for extensions like -9 or +13 or whatever, you know. So basically, I use a sharp and a flat for the number extensions, and I use the minus exclusively for minor chords. But ultimately, you should just be able to read a variety of chord symbols because you play jazz, right? By the way, jazz is basically just 2/5 progressions. On to the next endeavor.